A friend of ours got a kidney transplant today.
Oh, really?
We met her through the store when it first opened, and she's stayed friends with us ever since. Surprise, surprise. So I'm going to what? I'm on
Yeah,
Facebook.
it'll be on.
On what thing?
Just your page.
My page. My page. Okay. I'm just too old to keep up with all this.
Yeah, we are live on Facebook now, so you should see it. Let me know when you're ready. You ready?
Hello and welcome to SoulTopia TV. I'm Michelle Welch with Roger Welch and our wonderful producer Matt Stoker. How y'all doing?
I'm doing amazing.
Are you?
I think so.
A liar. I'm kidding. You doing amazing?
Yeah, I think
That's
so.
great. How are
about-
you doing, Matt? Or, sorry, Roger.
I was like, what about you, Matt?
I'm doing pretty well. Yeah.
Okay. That
Yeah,
sounded a little
not
more
bad.
honest there.
What's that?
I said you sounded a little more honest in that answer.
I mean, I'm okay. I'm not great. I'm not bad. I'm just fine.
That's good.
Yeah.
I always think if I'm doing great, it's like what's coming next. So okay is a good thing to be, right? It's honest. All right. So Roger is, I'm telling y'all, the more social media stuff that comes around, the more I just get confused. Or is it just my age? A little bit of both. Don't answer that, maybe. Tonight, we are going to talk about...
You got too many pages that you follow and try to manage instead of one page. You got like 10 pages.
Yeah, and
And
I even got
so-
rid of some.
Yeah,
So we'll
so it
we'll
does-
get rid of some more.
Yeah. Make
Pull
a
it down, right?
challenge.
Make
Yep.
it simpler. All right, so that's the next thing we'll do. We'll just delete them all.
Social media challenge.
Social media challenges meet Michelle.
Yep.
I'm sure I'm not the only one.
Nope.
They take over our life. So our topic is not that tonight. Could
No.
be, though. It's apparently been the topic. Brene Brown had somebody on talking about the very thing I was talking about, disinformation and divide and conquer on social media and how countries do that, and we do it to each other, and how
Yeah.
we shouldn't do it for this election. So we will have that topic because everybody else is talking about it, the collective. But we're talking about energy healing tonight. What is it? What isn't it? And why do we call it healing versus energy work, which tends to be what I prefer to call it. So that's our topic tonight. But before we get to that, let's talk about the weather.
It's cold today. It rained last night and then got cold today.
I
It's
know.
like 10 degrees cooler today.
Did y'all? I didn't get. I saw reports of there being hail and all sorts of stuff. Did you get anything out here?
Just
I
rain.
didn't. I didn't get any.
Yeah,
No, where
just
was
rain.
that?
I guess I think it was probably farther north or something. I'm not even sure if those were even accurate. I think it may have just been maybe part of the forecast. I got just enough rain to make my car really dirty, and that was it.
Yeah, I need to take the truck and run it through the car wash.
Yeah.
And Michelle's car too. Just haven't done it.
Yeah, I never know if it's the squirrels or it's the hail.
No, that
Our squirrels.
We got those big fat squirrels running across the roof all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So you can hear them.
Yeah.
They're
I've
loud.
got those too.
They're like mountain lions up there.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
convinced. So the weather, the reason weather's interesting is Texas keeps it interesting for us, right?
Yeah.
And you just, I think the seasons literally are just going away.
Today was 60 degrees, and a few days ago it was 80.
So
Yeah.
I don't
So
know
go
if that's
figure that
everywhere
one.
else.
It was
but
nice though. I had my windows open most of the day. It did get a little cold at some point, but I had them open most of the day.
We'll be
air the
begging
house
for
out.
that cold here in a couple months, right?
Probably won't even be that
When it
long.
gets to be about 110 degrees.
Yep.
Also, I was seeing today that it looks good for the eclipse. I think there were worries that it was going to be cloudy, but I
yeah.
think it might, at least where we're forecasting now, a week out, it's saying that we should have a pretty good view.
Yeah.
And we could have done a show on that, actually. But last time we went for a solar eclipse, we were at the grassy knoll.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah, if y'all want a place to go, it's really interesting. Just now, there weren't that many people there, but other people did
wasn't.
have the idea, but it wasn't packed. And it was really interesting because of all the lore and everything around that area. And it's just a good open place to go. You can actually, even though you're downtown Dallas, you can get your little glasses and see. Have you gotten your glasses, Matt?
I do. I had them. So there was an eclipse back in October, I think, and partial, and I had some for that, and I've left them in my car this whole time, so I didn't lose them, and so I do have them.
Smart.
Yeah, that's smart. And that's, we will find probably when we're packing up for me, my last days, there'll be, there are those eclipse glasses, right?
I was coming through Addison a couple of days ago. You know, they have that big kind of that information sign up there on Beltline. And I guess they're having like a big eclipse party over on the, Addison Square Park area, wherever.
Oh yeah.
That'd be fun.
And they invited, it's just open, I guess, to the public to come in and, sit
Well, the
around
good thing
watch the
here,
eclipse.
yeah, in Addison, where this location is, it is good to sit on top of the buildings and watch the fireworks because they do them at the airport right there.
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
know that?
Yep.
Yeah, you just get up on top of the
You
roof.
just can't, you're not supposed to be on
With
top
the-
of the
with the
roofs.
mountain lions.
You're not supposed to be on top of the roofs.
Well, you don't tell anybody. You don't announce it on SoulTopia TV. You just do it.
Although I do,
Allegedly.
although I have snuck on the top of a few buildings in Frisco and we watched the fireworks that time.
When? I didn't do it.
No, it was when the kids were younger. When we were.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and because it's just you didn't have to climb a ladder; you just walked out.
You also did that helicopter Easter egg drop out there.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
in
did that.
Frisco, somebody's saying, does everybody do it? Are things bigger in Texas? I'm like, they're certainly lavish. I mean, like helicopter Easter egg drop.
That sounds wild.
Yeah,
So
they
what-
just go through and pour out the Easter eggs out of the side of a helicopter.
That's crazy.
And I'm thinking there's probably a lawsuit that came out of that. Some little
Nah.
kid got beamed on the head.
Can't
Ouch.
be.
Lawsuit from the helicopter. It could hurt. Yeah? No?
No.
Okay.
I mean, don't stand underneath it when they're doing it.
Well, I
right?
mean, they're beaming you from the helicopter with those eggs. Like, boom, 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 little 2-year-old, bam, on the head. Speaking of, Mosey scratched her cornea.
Yep.
So
had
she-
to take her to the vet yesterday, get the little eye drops and the pain meds for her for the next 2 weeks.
Yesterday, I looked at her last night, and I was like, what's wrong with Mosey? She's just staring off into thin air. And I was like, oh.
Got a little slit for an eye.
She,
You can
but
barely see.
little patch or anyway. And Roger said, "Oh, I gave her a pain meds." I was like, "Well, we might want to hold her because she's like stumbling around." She's like, "Mosey, are you okay?"
Once it kicked in, she was a little hyper
she,
though.
yeah, she couldn't go to sleep once that kicked
No,
in.
she's like up, down, rolling. I was like, please, just lay down.
You didn't sleep all night
Yeah,
because of
it's
it. And Nikki said about the weather. We had thunder and lightning in Carrollton last night. It was pretty loud. And then Mara said that she gets on top of her garage rooftop.
Yeah.
But for the fireworks, you don't want to come to Addison for the fireworks though, because it'll be an hour
It was,
getting home.
Oh,
well,
it's
it's longer than an hour to
2
get
hours.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
just to get out of here because of all the traffic.
Yeah,
You just
I did
camp out on
that.
the roof.
I did that a few years ago, and I was like, I've done it once. I don't need to do it again.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. All right. So energy work. Do we want to talk about it?
Sure.
Okay.
Go for
Anything
it.
else about the eclipse?
Don't buy any plants during the eclipse time.
Is that true?
Yeah. Little
Why?
shop of horrors.
That's true. Yeah, that's right.
I don't remember that. I mean, I remember the.
It's the whole theme.
I remember the
It's the
musical,
whole
not the
idea of the
Came
movie.
to Earth during the eclipse. Yeah,
That's right.
Or don't pick any up. I guess probably
Yeah.
is what you.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's has any truth. It was the Venus flytrap or something. Mm-hmm. Isn't that what that
Sure.
Well, I mean, it looked like one.
one?
No.
Well, I just remember Tyler was in the
big old
musical. Little Shop of Horrors, right?
Feed me, Seymour.
Was it a movie
Feed
first?
me.
Or-
No.
I didn't even like it. I didn't like that.
I think we should watch that
Musical or
tonight.
maybe- No, I'm not.
I
doing
think
it.
it's great. I love it.
I know. Why do y'all like that?
Why?
Why do
It's
y'all like
good.
Harry Potter? I'm the only
Obviously, you haven't seen the movie
Oh, I'll tell you what y'all need to watch.
with Steve Martin as the dentist.
Yeah. Come on.
I have seen it.
No, you haven't.
It's been a while.
There's
But
no
no, it just got on my nerves. That plant thing. I didn't get it.
Feed me,
Okay.
Seymour. Feed me.
There's a movie with Kathy Bates out. It's on Netflix. It's called The Miracles. It's a kind of sweet movie. It's got that. Is it Helen Hunt? She's in it. I haven't finished it, so y'all don't tell me the ending, Matt. you
I
seen it?
don't. I have
They
not
all
watched
die.
it.
But Kathy
In it.
Bates. Well, they enter this contest. They're singing, and Kathy Bates sings in it. She's a good actress.
Do you think she's actually singing?
She actually is singing because
Yeah.
she's not that great.
Okay.
Not that she wouldn't be great, I don't know, but she's actually singing, and so I started it, and it's a feel good movie. How can you not like Harry Potter? Carla Nichols says, "You tell me. I have tried and tried and tried. I fall asleep in the movies. I can't read the books. I've tried. I am probably the only person on the earth who does not like Harry Potter. And now the lady who wrote it's turned out to be real mean,
Yeah.
and real judgmental. So maybe
Yeah.
I knew that ahead of time in some way."
You felt it.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Probably not. Probably not. It just gives
Probably.
me a good
I don't
reason to
think
say,
so.
hey, maybe that's why I didn't like it. I
I
foresaw that.
don't think.
Roger told me another bridge sadly collapsed.
Wasn't there another bridge that collapsed or something?
I don't know. I saw that
Barge,
there
it was
was.
a barge hit at one in Oklahoma or something.
I think that's right. I don't know that it collapsed. though.
Okay, well,
just-
good.
I think it
because
may
I'm
just
like,
be closed for inspection or
Oh,
whatever.
that's all, yeah.
yeah.
Apparently, it happens a lot. Like I think that's the thing coming out about this. Like, I mean, this happens with
Yeah, I mean, you would
plane
think
crashes or shark attacks or whatever. It's like when one happens, suddenly you start seeing them everywhere. But really, it happens all the time. I saw a truck ran into a bridge in Pennsylvania, and people were flipping out about it. It's like I can't imagine how many times a truck runs into a bridge in this country.
But I will talk about when I predicted that. That's not something I just predict because I think it happens all the time. It was like,
Oh, well,
this is
they're-
going to be a big deal.
Yeah, they're not this
So, yeah.
this catastrophic when it happens, right?
And I don't want them to happen.
Yeah.
But Monica, what is she LMAO about Roger? What'd you say? Okay, so energy work. Who picked this topic? Me. Roger, do you call it energy work or energy healing, and why?
Well, you didn't tell me you were asking me that
Yeah, I
question.
did.
No.
About 2 hours ago.
Oh, you did? Was
Yeah.
I taking a nap?
Yeah, you were. But that's when I
Oh,
tell
I
you
don't.
stuff.
Let's see. Do I call it energy work or energy healing? I guess I call it energy.
Or do you call it anything?
I guess it depends on what I'm doing. Because, I mean, most of the time what I do is I'm using the singing bowls and using Reiki too, with the singing bowls. And I might, and I usually will have a couple of crystals I'll use, in with what I'm doing. So typically I would call that energy work most of the time because you're making me work on you. But no, I think I think it's so close, those two the words and how it's put together. It's almost could be work,
So
interchangeable almost.
yeah, so I kind of, as usual, overthink things, right? But it gets you somewhere sometimes, sometimes not. Energy healing is a little problematic to me. I thought we were calling this energy work, but I'm sure I said energy healing. I go around and round with it because healing to me is almost like saying, I'm going to heal you. When I do energy work on someone, and we'll go into the different kinds that we offer and the different kinds that we teach at SoulTopia or individually, I don't want to mislead people to think that we are healing someone. I believe that we are facilitating someone to begin maybe to accompany whatever their beliefs, whether it's Western medicine, Eastern medicine, or whatever it is, that healing refers to intention. Yeah, we could say that about everything, though, Carla. I get where you're going with that, but if we just said, we could say everything's intention, and we could just sit on our couch and say it's all intention. So, I agree with that to a certain extent. But is the healing But I get, so healing does refer to the intention of what you're saying, I think, Carla, and we're good friends and talk a lot. So we've talked about this before, is the intention of what you're doing when you go to get your appointment of Reiki or whatever you're doing, right? But as an attorney, I just find it problematic to call it healing. But we do, because at some point, people would also call it therapy. And that's a word actually you can't use in Texas in certain situations unless you have a license to use it. Certain therapies, physical therapy. So you cannot use that word. One of the things that we have, as I've said before, for different reasons, for giving prophetic messages or readings, is that we are, the people who read or do energy work here all have minister's license. We're ordained ministers. So that also applies to energy work because that means you can do hands-on healing. Now, Roger, tell me a little bit about Reiki. You're a Reiki master teacher. You can do Reiki and you can teach people and certify people in Reiki. That's not necessarily hands-on, but tell us a little bit about Reiki and why, what you think that does and how does that energy work?
So, the biggest thing about with Reiki is that to me, is me taking energy from me, but also the universe, and maybe putting it and using it within your energy. Okay, let's say maybe we're talking like chakras, like a heart chakra, say, which is kind of one of my biggest pet peeves is when people say, "Oh, you got a blocked heart chakra," and it's not really blocked. Maybe it's just not performing, to the utmost performance it could. Meaning instead of it spinning very smoothly, maybe it's wobbling a little bit.
Or overactive or underactive.
Yeah, or over or under. Yeah. Which is kind of a cool thing when I do aura photos. Part of the aura photos is actually the chakra, report that comes with it that actually will show, it shows a couple of things because let's say for the heart, it shows like if it's over or under compared to the other chakras, but it also shows colors. So like for heart, it's green, but it shows that if it's green at the bottom, but it changes to white at the top, meaning you're actually that's performing, but you're losing that energy as it's going out. It's getting dissipated out and not really getting focused in.
Cool.
Okay. So there's a lot of things like that. But I think with what you're asking about with Reiki is, it's you taking your energy and the energy from the universe and using that as a healing process with somebody else to kind of link the energies together and get them actually performing together in sync together.
Yeah, so ki or chi or many of those words, they mean life force. So when you get a lot of those words, and you learn this when we certify you, and we do Reiki 1 and 2 in one weekend, and then do Master Teacher and My Stellar Gateway, which we'll talk about briefly, in another weekend. And it's I agree with you. I believe everybody has Reiki. It started with we won't give a whole list. You get the lesson when you take the certification, but it started with Yusui. I think that's how you pronounce his name. But everyone has the ability to do Reiki, I believe, without even getting certification. You don't have to go pay a bunch of money. What it does is the attunement that you receive is said to ramp up that healing. And I do believe that, and I think people who go through certifications do experience that. Yeah. It's the attunement. And attunement is when you get that transfer of energy and the tradition of Reiki. And then you can go through the master teacher, and if you want to be able to call yourself a master in it, or you want to teach others. It's not, to me, it's like, and I mean this as kindly as possible, it's like entry level of different, I believe, doing different things. But the good thing about Reiki is that it's very much accepted, not very much, it's more accepted in hospitals now and massage therapy places. Crystal healing's beginning to be more so. So it's like aromatherapy with oils and things like that. But Reiki for people who've been through trauma, if they don't want to be touched, if they've been through burns, they sent a Reiki team after 9/11. And also to burn units, you'll have people, because you cannot touch, so it will be healing just with the energy of just not touching and just transferring that energy, as you said. So that's a really quick way to describe Reiki. We certify and we do Reiki here, and we have a bunch of people who work through SoulTopia. Kathy, Mary, Nellie, pretty much anybody that's here, they can do Reiki healings, right?
Yeah.
And so then we do crystal healing certifications. It's one of my favorite things to teach is crystals. And Roger
Really?
and I both know a lot about crystals. We love crystals. And so that's just kind of a layering on with the chakras also. Learning chakras, which you do learn in Reiki, will help you with that. Another one that's really interesting is Munaki. I am certified to teach that. It is somewhat close to a shaman. There's 9 rites, and it's one of the most trippy things I've ever experienced as far as just the meditations you go on, and honestly, just the things I would see during that meditation. Neil certified me in that, and he's one of the few healers I will actually let work on me, and he's a trip in and of himself, but he's incredible, and so he certified me. And I did it with, I think, Barb Chevalier.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was you and Bob.
And went for like 9 weekends in a row, and it was incredible. So we do that here. I am not a shaman. I would refer anyone out to Lexi, my friend Lexi, who's a medicine woman with the Lakota tribe, to do any shaman work. But Munaki is, you don't have to be a shaman to do that. So what else do we do? Energy-wise, I just wanted to go to crystal healing. We do your singing bowls,
Singing
which
bowls.
are incredible. And all this can be layered in healings. And then we do let's see, Monica says, I say I'm participating in being the conduit to guide the energy to where it's needed. It's like how you get the electricity from the wall to the light bulb through the cord, or at least that's how I try to explain it to people who have never experienced it. Yeah, that's really good. Thank you for that. I agree with that. It's something that, here's the way I say it. Think about when you fall and scrape your knee. What's the first thing you do, or your child does? What's the first thing you do?
Cry.
Before that, what do you do with your hand? You put your hand towards your knee.
Cover it.
And you want to, and that is sending that energy from your hand so you can do Reiki on yourself too.
Yep.
And you don't have to touch it because you don't want to touch that scraped knee, but immediately your hand is going to it, and you're sending that energy to send healing vibrations, because everything vibrates and everything oscillates, right? Talk about it all the time, and in this book, The Magic of Connection. And we're all connected, and so that is how. And it's not that someone is more advanced at something, but I do believe the more you practice your energy work, I don't think you lose it if you don't use it, but you do lose some of the strength of it, because I can use someone as an example of that. Mary Gates, that it works here. When I first met her, I would say I don't think she was even doing a lot of energy work, and when she started, I mean, she was decent. But when my sciatica started hurting the other day, who did I go have you pull off the floor?
Yeah, Mary.
Mary. So it's because she's been doing a lot of it lately, and her healing has gotten her energy work has gotten very, very strong. Stellar Gateway, we'll just touch on it briefly. That was something that was channeled to me. It's through Archangel Raziel. And Raziel is all about the esoteric secrets. He's about sacred geometry. Metatron's really not, even though there's Metatron's cube. He's more helpful to children. But Raziel is about math. It's all the stuff I really don't know anything about personally, as Michelle. It'd be like the classes I needed tutoring in to not mess up my grade point average. Anything like that. And it's simple sacred geometry. It's not the fancy stuff like, oh, it's the flower of life. And we get that, and I'm trying to go fast to not bore people, but it is, to me, the strongest form of healing. It's very close to something my friend in the UK does with the World Divination Association. I forget the name of it. It's Hoopa something, if y'all know what it is. Somebody can Google it. But it's getting in tap with your higher self and working through karmic residue in your stellar gateway that no longer serves you. You get a chart You get a message. It's 45 minutes. I use crystals. It's like you throw it all kind of in there, and it comes out with these messages. But mainly, it's in your it's the chakras that are your transpersonal chakras. Reiki works on the chakras that are the chakras in your body, the main 7 chakras, even though there's a lot more than that. This works on the chakras that are outside of your body, your transpersonal ones, and the ones that connect, the stellar gateway connects you to your higher chakras. I only go up to chakra 9 or 10. If anybody says they go above that, they're probably, I would question that. If anybody thinks they're opening up those higher chakras, they're probably not able to function very well. So that's, and I have people who are texting me even as today, like, when do I come back for another stellar gateway healing with any kind of, and I'm saying healing, any kind of energy work. For me, I don't sell like you have to come every other week or you have to come once a month. A month or anything. What I try to say is come when you need it, but I'm kind of changing that because if you wait till you need it, you might have waited a little too, like, why wait till you're hurting or emotional? Because it works on all the spiritual
sooner,
body,
basically.
the emotional body. Yeah. So I just never wanted to, like,
It's
talk
hard.
somebody into coming,
Yeah,
right?
it's like you don't want to tell somebody, oh, you need to come every week.
Right.
You know, you don't want to be that person that's like, oh, you need to come to me every week, because then you feel like you're taking advantage of them, you know,
Yeah.
because they might not need it every week.
Right.
But, you know, it might be every month or every other month.
I think maybe every other month would be
know?
good
Yeah.
to do. If you, and Monica is certified. Monica's on is certified to do, and she does do stellar gateway healings, and not through SoulTopia, but she's trained through here, and she has done them a lot. So she's somebody I would refer you to if you, if you don't want to come in, just if you want to try somebody else. So there's been a lot of people who've gone through that healing, and the good thing about it is you get a reading with it. You get an intuitive, because messages really come through, and people who get on that table for stellar gateway healings who think, yeah, I don't believe in any of this, they usually will go, you're not going to believe what just came in my head while I was on. So
the healing sessions you do are typically about 45 minutes, right?
yeah, mine are.
So it says, would it be 30 minutes of like healing sessions and like 15 minutes of like messages and discussing it?
For that, if you're just getting a Reiki session, there might be somebody who isn't going to give you an intuitive message. In fact, with traditional Reiki, if you go to a Reiki circle, you don't talk.
Right.
You don't give messages. That's not what you're taught to do. We do if we have a Reiki circle. And when we have those, they're usually $10 and people volunteer. And it's amazing to me that not more people take advantage of that, because you can either participate in the Reiki circle or you can get on the table.
Yep.
You can, and we haven't had one in a while
No, we
because
haven't.
about 6 people would come, and and the person who's doing it is not making that much money for so it used to kind of be a donation only thing, but it'd always be one person would end up putting $50 in the basket, right? Nobody else would pay. So I just remember other places. Guess who'd be the person putting the $50 in the basket?
I know.
So because I'm like, nobody's paying for this, and that person's not going to get paid. That bothers me. So, but Reiki, any of these, to me, it's just whatever you like, because they're basically going to do all the same thing. With the stellar gateway healing, you get what I call a crystal key. It's a crystal, and you get your symbol put on it, and you add the different symbols to it. And I'd love for any of you who want to do that. It's one of my favorite things to do. There's music, crystals, let's talk about remote really quickly. What is a remote healing, and does it work, and why?
You tell us.
Okay, so a remote healing is like a distance healing.
I know, guys, but I
And
just
know
want her
he
to
knows.
answer.
But why? I'm talking fast and furious. So
I know.
okay, so why don't you answer?
Well, it is. So what happens is with a remote healing is you will typically you'll have somebody either sit down or even they can lay down, and they may be still at their house. And then you actually use symbols in your hands and kind of remotely send the energy to them over their body. Now, what was really cool was when we had the dolls, the Reiki dolls.
Wes made
that
them.
Wes made.
Wesopedia. Yeah,
Yep,
he made them.
Wesopedia made these Reiki
Chakra
dolls.
dolls. Kind of
and
freaky.
he actually had these chakras. They were about 2.5, 3 feet tall. white
We have
print,
pictures of 'em.
canvas. And he actually had crystals inside, but those made the perfect symbol to do that with, because you could lay that doll down and it represented the person somewhere else. But you could probably do that with a lot of things. You have something that's visually represents the other person and be able to work on that.
Do you remember a long time ago, somebody needed a healing, and we were at North Park, and we did it on our knee.
Yeah.
You remember? So
I
we
do
were both
remember
doing it, and we were like, so the biggest question is, does it work when it's remote? Like, why would don't I need to come in? Does it work better if I'm in there? Well, here's what I do to make people feel better about that. I send them a video of me, now big long videos, 45 minutes, it's not going to all go through, but a clip of me actually in the Reiki, in the room, maybe with the chakra doll back in the day, but usually there's nothing on the tab. I lay out the crystals, I go through the whole thing, and I'll send you that, and then I'll send you the body layout of everything I get, and I'll tell you the crystals, the messages I got, and actually you're probably getting a lot more information than you are just for even a regular reading. And so that eases the people's mind who may be skeptical, and I'll tell you, you should maybe be skeptical, because I was with somebody years ago who she would do readings, and she'd go, hey, let's go shopping. And she read from one of those lines, right?
Yeah.
And she'd literally be shopping and have her thing in, and she'd be doing readings on the phone. And then she'd be doing, I'm doing a remote healing, and we'd be walking around, and I'm like, okay, I will never be that person. Good on her if she can do that. I don't believe it. So yeah, you want to make sure they're really doing it, right? But does it work when you are away? So I'm in Dallas, Texas, somebody's in England, and I'm sending remote or whatever. Why does it work? It works because of, and this has kind of been disproved, this theory, but the 100 monkey theory. And so the Sheldrake and the 100 monkey theory, and
What's that?
in the collective consciousness and the collective unconsciousness, which are the same but different. Okay, and I'm not going to get, that's a whole nother topic. But it's where, like, there would be 100 monkeys, and they would have, in very short order, they would have activity, and then like a certain number of monkeys that on a totally different island, they would do the exact same thing without knowing what those monkeys were doing.
Same
Okay,
type of monkeys?
I don't know.
Chimpanzees?
Just so y'all know.
Spider monkeys.
Just so y'all know.
Jacked up
that
like
was
a
going to
mountain
go in
dew
the
like a
magic
spider
of
monkey.
connection, and it didn't make it because the more research I did, I realized that theory had been disproved. So why does distance healing work? Because we're all one, and it doesn't mean that you have to be sitting right there beside someone, because you're not actually doing massage work on them. You're doing energy work, and energy can bypass, and we're learning more and more with quantum physics and mechanics, time and place. And that's why.
Makes sense.
But I still would, if you don't know somebody, I still would want, okay, could you maybe send me the grid layout, the crystal grid, or if they're telling you, okay, give me this much money to do a crystal grid for you, and you're actually paying them, maybe if you don't know them, maybe get them to send you some evidence that they're actually doing something. But it does work. This is public. She posted it, right? Our friend, Jennifer?
Yeah.
Okay,
She posted it
so
on
a good
Facebook.
friend of ours actually had surgery today, and I am so happy, Jennifer, that you got your kidney transplant. And Jennifer has moved away for years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we send her energy all the time. She sends us, and when people say we're sending energy, first of all, you can know I will not write that unless I stop and I actually do that. Or if I say I'm going to pray for you, I will literally, I'm not going to say I'm going to, I will stop and do it, because otherwise I think I'm a liar.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people will say, sending, are they really? So, yeah, I've got a lot of opinions on this subject, because I do think it's an area, again, where people you should ask questions. You should ask, why does that work? Does it really? And the biggest way you can know if it works is just try it. Just try it, and it does. It does work. If they're really doing it. Now, you said they have to be still or whatever. That's ideal.
Yeah.
It's ideal, but there are times when somebody's like, they're at work and they can't be still, and they'll be like, this is really hurting, and and oftentimes I don't even charge for this. When somebody's like really, it's like, I'll be like, here, just for 15 minutes, and I've had a lot of friends who've helped me with a lot of things that they do not charge, because I'm in a very bad spot. I won't say his name, but one friend in particular who has really helped me recently. And I would want to say his name because I want to thank him so much for what he's done for me. But so there's a lot of times you don't want to charge, because here's the other thing. Don't pay people a whole lot of money, thousands and thousands of dollars, to learn these things. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if somebody believes that they have something that actually will help people, that could heal people or alleviate pain, they need to make a living, right? They need to get paid for their time. But do they need to charge thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars if they really believe that this is something that could help humanity? I don't think so. So I will charge basically and I said this I think last week, what I charge for maybe 1 hour of reading. And I do charge quite a bit for an hour of reading because I'm busy. But to teach these classes, please do not go pay thousands and thousands of dollars for it. I believe people are, here's the thing. I'm not going to do that. Roger, you don't do that when you teach singing bowl classes. A certification, do I think people should be a little more vested in it and I don't just hand it out? Yes, I do. And if we're going to take all weekend to teach it, it's going to cost some money, but it is not going to be even close to $1,000. And I just would need to know why. I will say the same thing about Akashic Records. When people are teaching you to open Akashic Records, I teach that in one night on a Thursday night in 2-hour class, which usually is a 3-hour class because I go over, wonder why. And that is $20 to learn to do that. Now you'll have to practice, but it should not be thousands and thousands of dollars. And other people might be able to give you their reasons why. And I think some people think if they pay more money, they're getting more quality. That's not always true. Especially if we're going to use the word healing. Why, if you really believe that's going to help people, why would you, with Stellar Gateway, I remember a time when I did it for free. I certified people for free because I so much believed in it that I wanted people to learn it. What I found was there are people like Monica, Mary, Kathy, who will take it seriously, and maybe if they pay a little bit, it'll make a difference, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
True.
Whoa. Serious topic. And I'll tell you, a lot of people want readings. They want readings, but they don't really want energy work. I think energy work might be more important sometimes. I do think readings are healing, though. They serve as a form of healing.
Yeah, because sometimes it just gives clarification, or even just people are worried about maybe a situation, or they think they know what's going on, and it's just a confirmation for that.
Yeah.
You know, it makes them feel better. So
Yeah.
it does become a little bit more of a healing for it.
Yeah. But if you do ever go to any type, if there's another area that you're interested in, I can't even remember all the certifications we've gotten over the years. It calls down to, you just kind of use it all together. It's worth every penny for the certification. Thank you, Monica. I really appreciate the people who use it, because it's not us doing it, right? I mean, we are channeling that stuff when we do that healing. Well,
obviously we're extremely busy right now, but do you have time coming up that you're going to be offering another class this summer? Or
Yes.
will it be in the fall?
We are taking a list. They are supposed to have a list at the front, and anyone who wants to sign up for anything, tell us what you're interested in. For energy work, I really don't offer that online at this point. There's a chakra certification, there's tarot, there's what else? Monty Farber's astrology.
We have
there's
several of the witch series classes, candle magic and stuff like that on there.
Quite a bit of stuff, but as far as doing energy work, to this point, is something I think is most important to do kind of in person. You don't have to, but so finding time for that, we're gathering names. People are still most interested in Reiki because it is the most well-known thing. And I think once you do Reiki, you can build on that with anything else.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like learning your foundational instrument and then building on that, right?
Exactly.
Speaking of, Matt, how's your piano going?
It's going. Oh, I need to turn my mic on. It's going well. I've got a couple of new songs under my belt and doing exercises. I didn't play today or yesterday, so I need to make sure I keep up with practice. But it's going well.
Well, I'm proud of you because I still haven't taken my
How-
my Christmas present out of the box.
So your piano lessons are still in the box?
They are.
Yeah.
They have not been set free from that.
Still in the box.
Yeah, I am.
Big ass box. In
I
the
am
closet.
hoping that comes back really quickly.
Just sit it in the middle of the floor, and you have to deal with it eventually.
Well, there's a lot of things sitting in the floor, but I will try to take that. Roger knows that was something that made me really happy that I did from a very young age. My mother told me, I was like, Mom, am I just naturally good at anything besides being this weirdo psychic? And she said, piano, you quit the only thing you're really ever good at. Shelley? She said very lovingly, and I mean it. She said, I was good at piano because she was a piano teacher, but boy, I have never regretted it until recently. And everybody would say, did you regret quitting to play tennis, which I was not naturally good at. I worked my butt off to be good at it. And I was like, no, I've never regretted it. And then about a year ago, when you listened, I was like, I really think I should play. But if I start and I'm not good at it, then I'll know I was never naturally good at anything.
I don't think that's exactly how it works.
Yeah, it's not at all how it works.
Oh, man. I was really young. And then it was like Van Cliburn. I remember I had to go to the Van Cliburn studio, and they had all these grand pianos. And I was like, and so many hours a day. And I was like, yeah, I want to get outside and play tennis like my brother. And I was horrible. Like uncoordinated legs and arms going everywhere trying to hit a tennis ball. But dadgummit if I wasn't going to do it. Forget that piano. But, yeah, we'll sit it in the middle of the floor, and I bet you I'll be able to play.
Chopsticks.
Maybe. But, yeah, it takes practice, doesn't it?
It does.
does.
It takes a lot of practice,
A
and it's
lot.
frustrating, and it's hard, and I get mad sometimes. But I just take a break, and I come back later, and usually I'm better.
Yeah. You do have to walk away if you get mad at the piano.
I do, and that was a hard thing for me to get used to because I was I just feel like if I try hard enough, I'll get it. But I think it's like when I'm not in the right headspace and I'm getting frustrated, I just say, okay, I've tried this for 10 minutes. I'm getting frustrated. I need to just stand up and I'll try it again in a couple of hours. And that's usually how it goes.
Yeah, I was not good at teaching my kids. It's middle C, and I'd be screaming. I was like, ugh, let me take it. And they just never learned it because,
Do you know my uncle? My uncle that plays, but that was his first instrument was piano.
They played for Tammy Wynette.
Yep. And he actually used to go break into the church to teach himself how to play on
That's
the church
cool.
piano.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He'd break in.
Yeah. Break into the church.
Did they ever catch him?
Nope. Never caught him. He'd break in, teach himself how to play the piano. Yeah, but he's an amazing piano player too.
I bet.
Like he had.
Well, if you can play piano, you can usually
Look,
piano and guitar.
When
They go
you're in
together.
little bitty town Mississippi and you have a big baby grand piano, yeah, you got to be good.
Yeah.
You had like the baby
Well,
grand.
that was after he broke into the church then.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no. This is, yeah. I mean, when he was like a little kid breaking in the church, this is when he was an adult, had the baby grand piano.
So he was a little kid breaking into the church.
Yeah, little kid breaking in.
I
the
think
church.
that's a great story.
Yeah.
Don't you?
So that would have been, I'll say late 40s, 50s, somewhere, probably like late 50s,
That's a cool
early
story.
50s.
Oh, and when y'all had
1950s.
Elvis,
Yeah, yeah.
the Elvis family member.
Yep. And so, yeah, he would go break in the church to teach himself how to play the piano.
And then he'd give you the bag of money
Oh, yeah.
to take to the bank.
The Piggly Wiggly paper sack, the big paper sack full of money.
Roger be
money.
driving
Cash.
the truck to the bank
12
to
years old.
deposit
Oh
his
my
money
gosh.
12 years old,
from
driving
the
to the bank.
airstrip that his uncle had on his property.
Did you ever sneak a little for yourself? Or does
Didn't
he
have
know-
to. It
Yeah.
was given to me.
Oh, there you go.
The bank was, and then he found out we've told this, then you don't need to write a book about that because that's interesting.
There's books written that have him in it. That's a different type
He
of
was the
book. though.
first bass player for?
No, he
What
didn't play
player?
bass. He played lead guitar.
You correct me every time on that because I don't know the difference. So he played what guitar?
He played guitar for Tammy Wynette.
The first one.
The first one, and then he decided he didn't want to go on the road all the time.
So he wasn't the one. Was she famous yet?
Sort of, somewhat.
Yeah.
That's when she started hooking up with George Jones.
Who's George Jones?
Oh my God.
I'm kidding.
Oh,
Hey,
boy.
y'all should have seen the looks
people
on
were
these.
about to-
I love to get them.
Hate
Like,
mail was coming.
play dumb.
Hate mail was coming. on that
Okay.
one.
Let's see. Britt says, I've been told all my life I have healing hands, so anything I can do, get certified energy healing, I'm down for it. Well, let's get on the list, Britt. Yeah, love that.
So
And you can, when you have we've done it on here before, it's in, what book? Magic Connection. When you have these natties or naughties little chakras in your hand, they connect to your heart chakra. This little healing y'all can do. You just fire them up. You can do energy. I've had Matt do it on here before. You can feel the little chi ball. It's a life force. And then you can use that to actually calm anxiety. And the ones on your feet connect to your root chakra. The ones on your hand connect to your heart chakra. So if you've got those healing hands, you don't even have to touch. You just put it right there. And it just calms you down, right? It really works.
Yeah.
That one really works. And you can do the chi ball with somebody else and mold it and then toss it back and forth. And we do that in classes. We do that in the
play
Reiki class.
basketball.
Well, yeah. That's why you should teach it because people definitely have more fun if you were teaching it, for sure. The serious Michelle with the thousand
Her PowerPoint. Her
point. I
1,000
don't do
page
PowerPoint. 1,000 question quiz and I think it is in crystal healing.
Takes like 45 minutes just to go through the quiz. Just joking, guys.
Well, I'm telling
just
you, if you're going to be
joking.
an advanced crystal healer, you're going to know your crystals, right?
Yes.
are.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
So tell us about these crystals.
Oh God, you're
Or you
being
got
called
something
out.
else?
Yeah, there you go. Always with your heart chakra. Good, Brett. Okay, so a couple things. Mercury retrograde, we're in it. If y'all don't know what that is, we've got a bunch of YouTube videos on Mercury retrograde. I had some friends post some good things today. I'll name a couple. Matt Orwin posted something. Monty Farber. I believe I reposted both. But we have Mercury retrograde bracelets. They are sitting right here. And they're actually really pretty. They posted a picture, and I can see why the picture maybe doesn't do it justice. Can y'all see this little, this is on a, what is that, blue calcite or something?
It's
No, it's
Caribbean
not.
calcite.
It's a Caribbean calcite, which is not from
like
the
that.
Caribbean, just FYI. It's just a pretty blue. So this is our Mercury retrograde bracelet. And it's called Mercury retrograde survival. Brings order from chaos, aids focus. It's got hematite, aquamarine, amazonite, and fluorite on it. So, but we do have videos on the YouTube, SoulTopia YouTube channel. We've got videos about, and on SoulTopia, or Soul What, we've done Mercury retrograde before. And have a lot of memes, but you know what? I every year I find those memes, and I'm like, dadgummit, if it doesn't have the date on it. I'm going to have to redo it. Because I do
Because she has to put
Mercury
the date on it.
retrograde's really good for time for like the RE words, like re-examine. You can make up words like re-love, refocus, recommit. Well, those aren't made up, but you can just, and we've done that in class where we just go around with the RE words and you just say whatever comes to your mind. Reconfigure, just pause. And the biggest thing is because it's Mercury, it's communication, right?
Yep.
And it's perceived to be moving backwards. So what is said is things like emails, text, any kind of communication, be more careful with it. Because if you might be misunderstood. It also has to do with travel. So, or legal documents. But I always kind of make fun of that because people say don't sign anything or do anything during Mercury retrograde. Then they'll say, but if you started it before Mercury retrograde, you can do it. That's kind of, you could talk yourself into anything with that. Here's what I say. If you're in a court case, the judge isn't going to care if Mercury retrograde. They're going to laugh you out of court. They're going to be like, whatever, you better show up, or you're going to get a summary judgment against you if you don't. Sorry, if Mercury retrograde. So don't listen to that if it's a legal case. But if you're starting negotiations, just maybe put it off. But, you know, I would not say to somebody, lose a house, it's the best deal ever, just because you find it during Mercury retrograde. Just pause. Make sure your communication is more clear. Because it's the time when if somebody's you're going to send a text, I'll be dadgummed if they're not going to misunderstand it. If you're going to travel, maybe allow yourself a little more time. Just use better judgment.
Cross your T's, dot your I's.
There you go. Okay, so that's that bracelet, and wear that bracelet. It'll get you covered.
And
then
you
we
can get these online at the store. We'll actually post later, maybe tonight or tomorrow. where
And
you
they
can
have
get these.
posted the picture, and I was like, that's so nice of y'all, but really the bracelet's prettier in person. It's hard to get those colors, but they're showing them pretty good here.
They look good there.
Because the aquamarine, no, it's Amazonite, and aquamarine. They're really pretty on here.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we
The
have
ones
products of the week.
You go for it.
Okay, so our products of the week. First of all, our Satya incense of the week is actually the yoga. So for all you yogis out there.
Why don't you tell them what you did? The
Well,
yoga
oh, so Saturday morning.
Saturday?
I had to think which day actually it really was. It was Saturday because it was way too early to be up there, but we did. There's a restaurant they have a few locations. It's called Bella Green.
Yeah.
We went to the one in Plano. They have a very cool little patio and courtyard little place.
Right.
It's got AstroTurf. So there's probably, I'd say, 25, 30 people doing yoga, morning yoga.
Cool.
And so we went out and
being?
me and Lizzie, she wanted to go help. And then half the time she went back to the truck and took a nap. Kind of.
Well, she hasn't been
15
filming.
minutes.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
she did help me with the hard stuff, which was actually getting stuff set up. And, while it was a little bit busy. And the people that own Bella Green, they love us. They come, shop in the store and stuff. But they're like, oh, well, brunch is coming up. So why don't y'all stay a little bit longer if you want to? So we stayed.
you did.
So we stayed a few hours longer, while their brunch crowd
So
was
it was
coming
there, but it was a yoga place.
through. It was a yoga place doing their yoga event. And then they had gift bags, and they had,
And you gave crystals.
we gave crystals in the gift bags, and
That's nice.
there's another lady there. She had clothes that she was selling.
That's nice.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. It was just
And you
kind of a
you
nice
liked
little
the
setup.
guy because
Yeah, he's super nice guy.
He started off at Arby's or somewhere, and
He was a cook at
Wendy's. Yeah.
And then he's bought a franchise, bought another franchise, and he just kept basically growing his empire. And
Isn't that cool?
yeah, it's a pretty cool story about him.
Started as a cook.
Yeah,
At
started as a
Wendy's.
cook for people
It's a
out
really
there
cool
that's
story.
like, I just can't get ahead. Well, you just got to make it happen.
Practice your piano every day.
That's right, Michelle.
Don't quit.
Michelle.
So that's yoga. And I was talking to Mary because I was like, we don't just have Satya incense, but it is, more the affordable and chemical free. But we have all kinds of incense. So we're going to throw in some different kinds
Yeah.
in the future. But it is a good one at a really good price point. So that's buy one, get one free. But we
There's buy
have
one, get
so many different kinds of incense. So don't think we just have this one kind because it's one kind we always show. But that's yoga. And then we have is that scolecite?
Your favorite crystal?
I love
Scolecite.
I say favorite every time. So scolecite is one that is a really high ascension crystal. I really can't go into everything about scolecite right now because I'll launch into a whole class. But when you do crystal 2, it's one you do learn about with me for crystal 2 healing. And I remember the first time I bought one. It was at a store in, God, where were we? You remember that store where I bought scolecite and they had the crystals were
Was
really
it when
expensive?
we were in Santa Monica?
No, it was a really cute store, but I can't remember. Maybe somewhere else in California, but because that one in Santa Monica was not cute. That was
No.
like the nastiest store. But anyway, I bought scolecite and it was freaking outrageous. I don't know how much these pieces of scolecite are, but they're really high ascension. They'll get you in touch with your spirit guides, anything other that you want to get in touch with your intuition, but it's also very soothing. And then we have our bracelet of the week, which is the Archangel Ragwell. So I guess we're going through the archangels. This is Ragwell's name means friend of God. And you can see brings harmony, helps with misunderstandings, heals relationships. So Ragwell is the friend to the underdog. That's why I like Ragwell so much. This is blue jade and hematite. We always have hematite in the middle of our archangel bracelets, at least now we do. They've gone through many transformations. But Ragwell is like who you call in if you're like I said, for the underdog. She's the friend to those who can't always help themselves. And kind of, if Matt, would you show that again? If you would, so mediation, like if you're in mediation, if you're having trouble with any kind of relationship, Ragwell is the one to call on, to step in, to bring about that harmony. You tie that Ragwell bracelet with some tiger's iron, which is good for harmony, and boy, you'd be good to go.
Yeah.
We should do a bracelet with
Sounds
that
so good.
Ragwell energy and tiger's iron energy. That'd be a good one.
That'd be good.
Okay. So that one is on the bracelet is not buy one, get
that
one.
bracelet is, the crystal of the week and the incense of the week are always buy one, get one free. But the bracelets of the week are 25% off on those bracelets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really pretty blue jade. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we actually,
Match
because
what I'm
this
wearing.
weekend was Easter weekend and we had, it was extremely busy. We did have a sale and we had people that won the gift cards in the little crystal egg giveaways.
oh, tell me,
And
what'd they
so
win?
we had one each day, won a $50 gift card, and totally thrilled to death that they got crystals and gift cards. So it was
Oh.
a pretty cool weekend for us.
Like, what was the most amount that they won?
$50.
Whoa! Did you already say that?
Yeah,
And I
I'd
wasn't
already said
listening?
that,
Okay,
because you
well,
were
that's because I was looking at what
looking
Mary
at your
said on
phone.
here. Mary said she reads with the palm stone of Scolaside, I think, and then that she likes the blue jade. And then they were saying that place has good food.
Yes.
Nikki said. What else?
But this coming weekend, this next Sunday, is actually SoulTopia Psychic Fair. So you definitely want to come out, check out the Psychic Fair.
Who's going to be here?
So Mary and Kathy will both be doing readings and healings. Then we have, let me see. I think Anna, Regina, Cecilia, Nellie, and Tomas are doing readings. And then, of course, I'll be doing
good lineup.
aura photography and chakra readings. So all of the other sessions are $25 for 20 minutes. Mine are $35 for 20 minutes. You're going to get a picture with mine that looks kind of like, say, this one. And you'll also get a report that's in 12, 14 pages, something like that I email the full report. But we do go through the report with you, and so you
Right
know what
here.
you're looking for. And yeah, we do it right here at this table. I sit here. You will sit there. Yes. So, and
very
but that is
thorough.
this Sunday, and it's 12 to 6. And you can go online now. It's the website to book is SoulTopiaPsychicFair.com. Again, SoulTopiaPsychicFair.com. And you can book now for that.
And Mary told me on that sale, somebody bought like 10 rings
I think she had more than 10 rings.
More
She
than
had like
10.
a whole bag of rings.
because they were
loaded
how
up.
much off?
Half off.
50% off,
Yeah,
y'all.
50% off on the rings.
And they're nice rings. They're the 925. I mean, we've got all pricing rings,
yeah.
but we've got some nice. I pulled this pendant. Do y'all see? Can I turn it right? So it's rose quartz, you can't really tell, and labradorite. And these labradorite earrings, this is a higher end earring. And this was in the case. And so I thought, just going to show y'all some of the stuff we have. You can't see how beautiful that is.
Yeah.
The rose quartz, but it's gorgeous. And the labradorite, it's really flash. It has a lot of blue flash in it. So we've got really pretty jewelry. I think we could just have a jewelry store.
We have enough to do it because I got to look into the warehouse and they're like those types of pendants. And there's some of those that are actually smaller,
Yeah.
They're about half that size. Oh, like half, not half the height, but half overall.
Yeah.
And there's tons of them. We have thousands of those things.
This
over there.
quality, though, this is
not
like
that
a
high.
heavy,
No,
this one's
they're-
a really good
Yeah,
quality.
that was actually the really nice ones. They're pretty nice, but not quite as nice as that one.
There's some people that make these, kind of mass produce these that are a lot less price point. I don't know how much this one costs, but
$5,000. No, it's not.
So
I think the ones I found over there, they're only like maybe 25 or 35 bucks. And we
Another
have like
thing-
a lot of those too.
make sure y'all sign up for our emails because we do have coupons in those emails. What that means is
That only go out in the email, not on the text.
only on the email, and you have to show it. It's not like we're just going to give you that discount. It's an incentive to open the emails and look at them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we know, we get thousands of those emails too. I've been putting stop on every political person in the world that's been sending me texts and emails, right? Unsubscribe and stop. But you don't want to subscribe to SoulTopia because if you open those coupons, those are only good if you show them.
That's right.
And not everybody, if somebody's in the line behind you and they're not on the email, they don't get that discount. Okay?
Yep.
Only you do.
Because it's kind of like the old school coupons you had to clip and take in.
Yeah. I didn't ever do that. But I would show an email.
Yeah. But emails are easy. You don't have to clip it. You just have to show it.
What
Hey,
are you
look,
going to put on sale next week?
I don't know yet. We
That's
got a
why you
bunch
gotta
of
get on the
we
email.
got a bunch of specimen crystals. Maybe we'll do some specimens.
Maybe.
Some really nice stuff. Some really big stuff. Maybe
All right.
some medium-sized stuff.
Okay, and
Yep.
the other thing we have coming up at the end of April is in New York City, Reader Studio. That is a super big endeavor for us. Roger's been working really, really hard. Sally Rose Robinson and Andrew have been working really hard, and a lot of volunteers behind the scene. If you want to put an ad in that, I am not kidding, it needs to be turned in today,
Yeah.
tomorrow, or at maybe the latest, like Thursday. Right, Roger?
That's right.
It's going to print. It's pretty much full. We do have a couple spaces. It's in New York City, and somebody signed up the other day that was in the store. I think Mary and Nikki talked to her about, and I think she signed up. It's I went to it with a friend of mine, Megan Benanti, probably about how many years ago. I posted those pictures, and Megan was like, Megan was like, I love these pictures because we had such a good time. And I would never have known about that world that existed if Megan had not taken me there. And it was due to Megan solely due to Megan that I went. And I was so impressed by the people that spoke at Reader Studio. It's quite scholastic, but you also have a really good time. And you meet all your favorite authors and deck creators and things like that. The tide that we have here is maybe a little more fun and more some local people. But when you go to Reader Studio, you're getting people from all over the world. And you are at Tide too, but Reader Studio is just very established, and it's going to be wonderful. And it will. Some of my really good friends are coming with us, and Tony has been on the show. She's coming to help with the fashion show with Amy Zerner. And she's going to model. So it's going to be, and we're having models from people who come to the event who've come for years. So a lot of the publishers are going to be there. So if you are very interested in, but it is tarot, there is a divination day. They are going to, let's see, Mitchell's covering animal communication, right? Mitchell Osborne. Gina Jean is doing Haitian dominoes.
Yep.
And who else is, I'm going to blow it. Look on the website for all the, and then there's the master teachers that are teaching that are incredible.
Yeah.
Sasha Graham's one of them. And, but Divination Day, so I was going to say it's all tarot, but it's not. If you come on Thursday, you're getting those, the Divination Day, and I cannot believe I'm leaving out the third. Letitia, whom I cannot wait to meet. I've been posting her stuff. If you go on the SoulTopia group, which you should, join it, because that's to learn and interact. I post these, she has these cool pictures, because she's like a world traveler. I don't know if she's from France, but lives in New York.
I don't know.
And she will be like, what tarot card does this remind you of? And I post it because she comes up and she always gives credit, Matt, to like the artwork. But that's who's speaking. The one, I'm excited about all of them, but I've never met her, but I love everything she posts online.
Yep.
So she's really interesting. And I can't remember what she's speaking about. It doesn't matter because everything she speaks about is amazing. Because everything online is really interesting. So sign up for that if you want, but know that we are quite busy for the next month. But we're here, and we appreciate everybody being here tonight. Thank you, Matt.
Exactly. Yeah, thank you so much, and hope to see y'all next week. And come see us this weekend
Anthony will
at
be on
the
next week.
Psychic Fair.
And Anthony will be.
Oh, Anthony's gonna be on.
Anthony's going to be on. We're talking about song lyrics
Oh,
and how they. Anthony's one of our best friends.
do
y'all.
I get to
So,
pick the songs?
between you and Anthony and Matt? I don't know what we're going to do, but it's how they. It's how what songs and how they influence your life and how you can use
This can
intuition
go
with
in
your song.
so many different directions.
I know it's going to be fun. Y'all don't want to miss it. Anthony's always fun.
Yeah, definitely so.
Sorry for interjecting, but y'all don't want to miss Anthony. It's been like 3 weeks, but she's had some things she's gone through. So the
True,
fact
true.
that she's coming on is a really big deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, y'all have a great week, and we will see you next week. Thank you, guys.